most of the people here are either in favor of or against the concept of a bike path. We recognize that, the students recognize that. But anyways, first of all, I want to welcome Professor Dan Delasky from Northeastern and the 5 students from Northeastern. I haven't got all their names completely nailed down. It's Henry, Heather, Adam, Dan, and Michael. Okay, Mike and Dan. Okay, so these are 5 senior civil engineering students in Transportation Department. They are going to be they've looked at the roads on Chappaquiddick to give an objective analysis to come up with some ideas for different concepts for bicycle accommodation on Chappaquiddick. So they're going to be giving me about a 30-minute presentation. I'm going to ask you not interrupt the presentation. They're going to give it time at the end for their questions and answers. And we all recognize that this is a kind of a hot topic. People are in favor and people are not in favor. But this is not the forum for expressing wants and don't wants, likes or dislikes. We should focus this on a learning opportunity for all of us, and see what some objective analysis that the findings are. So I guess having said that, Professor Delasky.
So good morning. My name is Dan Delasky, and I'm with Northeastern University, and I'm happy to be here today, to be honest with you. I want to thank you for coming out. I want to thank Stuart for hosting us. And what I'm hoping to do today, in the next 30 minutes or so, is allow the students an opportunity to share with you their ideas on Chappaquiddick in terms of multimodal path. How did we get here? So at the end of their education, so they're 4.5-year students, they come into their senior semester, they have to basically choose transportation, a structural, or an environmental interest, an area. And for their senior project, they basically have to design a real-world project. So back in September, I contacted Stuart and I contacted many other people in the state of Massachusetts, people that I know that are involved with municipal work, and said, are there any projects that we can work on? Stuart put me into contact with Bob Colvin. Hey, we've been making this for 30 years. It's a contentious issue. We understand all of that. What we're here to do today is to share the technical merits of our work as well as our recommendations for Chappaquiddick. All right? So we went through an informal request for proposals. We're working in Sherborne. We're working in Quincy, Massachusetts. We're working in North Andover, as well as Newton. So I have 34 students right now. 5 of them are with me today. These students have gone through 4.5 years of schooling. They've also done about 1.5 years of co-op. So they've been out in the real world working. They understand what design plans are. They understand the workings of an engineering firm. They also understand how to evaluate something from an objective perspective. And that's what they're going to share with you today. Some of them have also spent time in the Netherlands. So I think what's important to realize today is that one thing I've stressed in the classes that I've taught, and particularly in this class, is sustainable design. All right? It's a buzzword right now. Green building, we hear it all the time. And when you look at Europe, when you look around this world, you think about sustainable design from a transportation perspective. And that's really what I asked the students to look at this design with regard to what is sustainable. How do we make the transportation system on Chappaquiddick sustainable for years to come? Not for today, not for tomorrow, but 50 years from now. Okay? And they're going to give you their thoughts from a technical perspective. So again, I'm going to stick with Stuart on this and ask you to keep the politics out of it for the time being, and let's talk about the technical merits of an objective evaluation. So, Adam, I'll turn it over to you.
Professor Delasky. Our team name for our senior project? Sorry. Team name for our senior design project, we chose Husky Transportation Engineering for the Northeastern Huskies, it's our engineering firm. And this will be an evaluation of multimodal alternatives for Chappaquiddick Road, Dyke Bridge Road, not only looking at bike path, but the whole road in general, and what can be improved, and what the existing conditions are. So, the agenda for today, we're going to review the qualifications of both our student group and Professor Delasky, review why we're here today, the methodology we took for the project, look at alternative designs as far as look at the existing conditions, what our proposed alternatives are, what could be improved, and then we'll have about a half-hour question and answer session and review our role plan.
introduce everybody. My name is Adam Blazer. I'm the project manager for our group, overseeing kind of the whole direction of it. To my right is Dan Curley. He is our lead design engineer, doing all our drawings back there. Mike Zula, our engineers working on our report and preliminary designs. And Heather and Henry, also two of our engineers working in preliminary designs and writing up our final report. Combined, we have over 8 years of experience working in civil engineering and design fields through various co-ops, through transportation co-ops, structural engineering co-ops, and also environmental co-ops. And myself, Mike, and Dan last summer spent a month in the Netherlands in a course called Sustainable Transportation Systems and Building Design. We looked at the Dutch approach of sustainable design, studied their systems, which I can delve into a little bit later. And our faculty advisor, Professor Dan Lasky, who has over 17 years in the private, where he owned his own company, the public sector, where he was a town engineer, and also a academic, where obviously he's our professor today. Mostly focusing in transportation and planning and design, and also structural process. Why we're here today? We're here to offer, hopefully, an objective view, but we have no preconceived notions coming into this. None of us have been to Chappaquiddick before. We weren't that familiar with the area, but we come here with no preconceived notions. We understand it is a highly contentious issue in the town. We don't want to feel like we're favoring one or the other. We looked at this straight down the middle. We looked at every option. Everything was under consideration, including absolutely changing nothing. So, why is this important for us today to be here? Because people and times change, and you have to look towards the future and not just look what is existing. It's fine, we built it, what's the problem? It's looking forward and preventing the disaster before it happens. I like have an analogy that someone on my team made fun of me for, but think of it as an earthquake. An earthquake has...
Can you speak up? We've got people that can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. If you think of it as an earthquake, there hasn't been an earthquake in Chappaquiddick or the Massachusetts area for who knows how long, but who's to say it's not going to happen next year, the year after? Prevent the disaster before it happens. Take preemptive strikes. And take a look at what's there, how it can be improved before something wrong happens. So, the methodology of where did we actually start? We started with, again, the question, does Chappaquiddick need a bike path? And what can be improved? And the approach we took to it was take all the information we had, put it all in one big pile, and then sort it out and see where we're at. Also focusing on, with our different options, what environmental impact there is towards Chappaquiddick, because we understand it's a very small island. There's not a lot of people there. There's not a lot of volumes there. There's a lot of wetlands. There's a lot of ecosystems. There's a lot of trees, nature. That can't be heavily impacted by any of our designs.